What up, gamers? It is Will777JP back at it again, and today is a special video because I am going to be reviewing High on Life. High on Life is a game that I just beat last week. It's a game that I've been playing on and off since 2022, and I remember the game from the very first moment that I played it all the way to the very end to when I beat it. The game is very memorable for some reason. You would think a game like this isn't, but it was. So I took my time from the moment that I beat it till now, and I got all my thoughts down on paper and I organized them, and I think I have a pretty decent review for you guys. Before I get started with the review, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and if you're not subscribed, please do so. I post videos almost every single day, and I would not want you to miss out. For those of you guys that are subscribed, thank you so much. Getting back to the review. So High on Life. High on Life, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Now let me go ahead and explain why. High on Life is from the creative minds behind Rick and Morty. It's an offbeat first-person shooter that combines humor, quirky characters, and bizarre alien worlds into a unique gaming experience. But while it brings some genuinely funny moments and a colorful world, it falls short in several key areas that prevent it from being a standout title on the PS5, which is where I played it. Visuals and world design. I gave it a 7 out of 10. High on Life features a vivid, cartoony art style that draws you into its universe. The environment are imaginative. It often reminds me of like an acid trip with crazy over-the-top alien design and environments that are designed to keep your eyes moving constantly. The character models, especially the talking guns, are a real highlight. Each one has its own personality and they have some impressive animations to bring them to life. That said, the graphics on PS5, while clean, don't really push the hardware in any meaningful way. There's a lot of potential for visual flair, but it doesn't take full advantage of what the system can offer in terms of texture or lighting effects. The overall world feels a bit static at times, and the occasional repetition of environmental assets might pull you out of the immersion. Gameplay and mechanics, I gave it a 6 out of 10. At its core, High on Life's a first person shooter, but it injects some fresh ideas with the addition of sentient guns that talk to you throughout the game. The concept could have been a real standout feature, providing humor and personality to your arsenal. The guns have distinct personalities and offer amusing dialogue that changes based on the situation. Some players will find this interaction charming, while others might find it grating, especially as the jokes wear thin over time. Now, that is something that I think a lot of people would say about the game, but I found that the longer I played it, the funnier it got. I mean, I don't know why. It's because maybe I have a potty mouth. The gameplay loop itself isn't anything revolutionary. You'll spend your time shooting aliens, platforming, and completing basic missions that feel more like filler than actual progression. Combat is functional but doesn't stand out in any meaningful way. The gunplay lacks the punch and fluidity seen in other modern shooters, and while the alien abilities you unlock with your weapons are neat at first, they don't evolve enough to keep things exciting. There's also the sense that the game's design doesn't encourage much exploration or creative thinking. Many of the missions are linear, and unfortunately, the open world elements never really feel fleshed out. The environments are fun to look at, but aren't particularly engaging or they're not particularly engaging to explore in depth. Story and humor, 7 out of 10. The writing in High on Life is one of its strongest suits. If you're a fan of Justin Roiland's humor, you'll likely find yourself chuckling at bizarre, irrelevant dialogue. The story, while not groundbreaking, is lighthearted romp through a universe of colorful characters. You play as a character who's thrust into an intergalactic battle with drug-dealing aliens, and there's plenty of irrelevance and absurdity along the way. However, while the humor initially hits its mark, it can quickly become repetitive. The jokes, they're fast and sarcastic, but the same gags are often recycled through the game. The results, this results in a lot of moments that initially make you laugh, but quickly lose their charm. The characters, while funny, don't develop enough to carry the entire experience, and the narrative, while serviceable, never fully invests you in the stakes. Audio, I gave it a 6 out of 10. The voice acting is undoubtedly a highlight. Roland's performance, as well as the other voice actors, bring personality to the talking guns and characters. However, the constant chatter from the weapons can quickly become overwhelming, especially if you're not particularly fond of the humor style. There's only so much sarcastic banter you can take before it starts to grate. The soundtrack and sound design are largely forgettable. The music is appropriate for the tone but doesn't stand out. The sound effects are functional, but they don't add much to the excitement of the combat or exploration. Performance and technical aspects, I give it a 6 out of 10. On PS5, High on Life runs well, with no significant frame rate drops or crashes. The game is stable and loading times are relatively quick. However, there are some noticeable technical hiccups here and there, such as occasional pop-in textures and minor graphic glitches. These aren't game-breaking, but can be a little distracting. Additionally, the lack of meaningful haptic feedback or adaptive trigger support on the PS5 DualSense controller is disappointing. A game like this is full of personality and over-the-top action, would have greatly benefited from the immersion that the DualSense can offer, especially when it comes to the interactions with the different guns and their abilities. Overall verdict, 6.5 out of 10. High on Life is an experience that offers a unique blend of humor and gameplay, but it never quite reaches its potential. It's fun for a short burst, but the novelty wears off quickly. The quirky writing, though charming at first, becomes repetitive, and the gameplay loop doesn't have the depth to keep you engaged for long. The humor might appeal to Rick and Morty fans, but even they might find the jokes wearing thin by the end of the credit by the time the credits roll. The game has some strong ideas, but they aren't fully realized in terms of gameplay, depth, or world building. It's a decent time if you're looking for a quick offbeat distraction, but not a title that's likely to leave a lasting impression. Ultimately, High on Life is fun, albeit flawed, experiment with more potential than it ultimately delivers. So there y'all have it, man. That is my review. I put a lot of thought and effort into this. I even Googled some words so I can bring you guys something a little bit different than all the times I say bro and fuck. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of this review. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'd be interested to know for all you guys that have played the game, how close my review is to what you feel about the game. I mean, look, and this is a wide spectrum. I know some people that really love the game, some people that really didn't like the game, and some people like me, kind of in the middle. Even though I give the game a higher than average score, it's still pretty low when we are talking about the amount of games that are on the market and the amount of competition. Now, what I will say about High on Life is that it is a first-person shooter, which is part of a wide genre. These third-person shooters is what's really missing in the industry, and I think with the main character and his design and the alien worlds, they really could have done much better if they went that route. And I know I spoke about this already with the DualSense controller, but man, what a missed opportunity. And I don't want to go too hard on High on Life, because there are also numerous games in the video game industry that also lack utility of the DualSense controller. But there y'all have it, man. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Keep it gaming.